And we're back with another episode of the Horns Down podcast. It's been a minute, but we are back. My guy, Drew England here. Drew, where can everybody find Jet? Go ahead and put it on there.
Yeah, we are. I'm a co-host the Under Official View podcast with my buddy Zach Merrill. We talk all things college football, all across the country. Anything that's going on in college football, anything and everything. Obviously, I hit on OU stuff because I'm a big Sooner. He's a Buckeye, so we talk about Ohio State stuff as well. But just hey, we talk anything and everything college football. Obviously, lately, our recruiting signing day video just dropped. This morning, last night. So go check that out. We kind of break down the recruiting classes, the top 10, all that stuff, and kind of where we fall as far as OU and then Ohio State as well, stuff like that. Winners, losers, all that good stuff. You can find that on our YouTube channel. Just search the Under Official Review podcast, Apple, Spotify for our audio content, and then all the social media sites, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. So, yeah, give us a like, subscribe to our channel. We're growing. We're trying to push forward, and then we just got on with the fanboys and their sports network and the Winning Edge. So we're pretty excited for the future, and if it's college football, we like to talk about it. So thanks for having me again.
So no, hey, I'm glad that you came on the show. Thanks for doing this kind of last minute or whatnot. Definitely had to get a video out. Hey, we're in here. Like, subscribe, share, everything. Definitely follow Drew. So let's get to it. Okay. So let's start at a different launching point for this. Okay. Than just kind of the regular. Like everybody is done, hey, this is what kids we got, blah, 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 this and that. Okay. It ain't over. What have you heard out there as far as kids that we're looking at now, whether it's in the portal or whether it's just in this second signing period going into springtime?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, top 5 class. Are you kidding me, man? This was great, and not only that, but I liked how we built on past recruiting classes. Like, typically we would sign 15, 16 guys. Man, we signed 25 plus, a lot of depth, a lot of quality depth on the defensive side. You got 2 5-star defensive players for the first time in I don't know when with PJ Adebawore and the saga that was Peyton Bowen's recruiting. Glad to get him in the boat. Obviously Jackson Arnold, but yeah, and like you said, we're not done. We've got a lot of momentum. I know we're looking at some guys in the transfer portal. I know Trey Harris, the receiver out of La Tech, it would be a good fit for us, and it looks like he might be in the fold. Obviously, we're in for I think Trace Ford and a couple of other guys too. Obviously, got the kid Jacob Lacey out of Notre Dame, was a good fit there in the middle of the defense, like we were talking about. Really trying to go after those interior defensive linemen. Maybe try to get an O lineman out there. Obviously, the receivers, a couple are still out there, but yeah, we're still grinding and still working towards finishing up this 23 class. Obviously, now we're more into getting into bowl prep with Florida State game coming up here pretty soon. So, our focus is back on football this week and getting ready for that. But certainly, we're still plugging away and trying to sure up and finish up a really nice end to this early signing period, and then there'll be some guys that we'll sign in February. Yeah, I think he did. I know we were in for him. I didn't know if we were signing him. I know we tried to, but if he did commit to Ole Miss, I didn't see that one yet. So I mean, hey, kudos to him. But I know we're still working on a couple other people too. But I know we're really strong for Trey Harris out of La Tech, but yeah, we're in a good spot, obviously, with a good class that we just got an early signing period. A lot of new early enrollees too, which is nice. So
yeah,
getting guys in.
That's a bonus about this class right here is that you're getting a lot of mid years. Just kind of jumping back to the topic though, because we'll get to that. But jumping back to the topic, I know we talked about a guy like Trace Ford. To be honest with you, from what I'm hearing, I think it's between us and USC. As crazy as that sounds, but at the same time, Trace Ford is a guy that I think can play outside. Obviously, that's his natural position, but I think he's a guy, especially with the knee injuries. We talked about it inside the chat. Wouldn't be a bad idea if he came here to OU and we slid him inside as far as just to let him get loose. I think that would be a good position for him. It would give him some time to really grow accustomed to what they're wanting you to do on that defensive line, but also just to be able to play him all over, because that's what's so cool about this defense, is that a lot of players get to do a lot of different things, and it doesn't matter whether it's a defensive end, a D tackle, or like you saw with Deshaun White. He's out there playing pretty much that middle third safety, right? So definitely want to see guys like that coming. You got to look at this defensive line. Defensive line has to be something that you look at in the portal, and possibly the second wave of recruiting with the high school kids, because hey, we missed out on Hicks.
Yeah, that was, we still had our hopes up after obviously the Peyton Bowen stuff, and did he really sign? Did he? So yes, he put his papers are at A&M. It's a done deal, unless something crazy happens again. Yeah, we lost out on him, but obviously, if you're talking next year, a guy like David Stone, some other guys like that for next year. But yeah, we really need to start building that depth and continue building that depth for the interior line, that nose guard. And really, because that stabilizes your defense, that allows your linebackers to run more free, to run through gaps, really go and play fast, because that nose and that shade is really eating up some double teams. And in the past, with especially Clemson's defenses, and you saw when like a guy like Christian Wilkins, Lawrence, those type of guys were able to eat up some double teams and allow those linebackers and second level guys to really go make plays. And so for us to really be at our best on defense and have that total package, we need some big physical interior D linemen to keep building that depth on the D line.
Are there any names out there in the portal right now, or any high school names that we should know about that you've kind of heard through the wire?
I mean, now that it's kind of the early signing has kind of slowed down a little bit. Obviously, like we said, Trace Ford, it's between us and USC. I think that's really the only guy that I think we're really hot on right now. Like I said, we're more focused now with the bowl prep. So yeah, there's still some recruiting going on, but I think things will start picking back up after, we with that bowl game coming up next week, and then between January and then the time school starts in mid-January, you might see a couple guys come via the transfer portal, but names as of right now really don't have a hey, watch out for this guy. It all depends on these bowl games and how they finish up, and then our guys going to hit the portal that maybe are not in yet. So
that too, because that's exactly what I was about to say. I was like, it's going to be a long spring and a long summer as well, because you're going to have some of those high school kids who kind of like BV said, hey, they go under the radar, not highly recruited, different things like that. But then also transfer portal is going to be interesting because after the spring game, you're going to see a lot of kids jump as well. But I think one thing that we have to talk about as well is the simple fact that you're kind of hopeful that some of the kids on your roster right now, present day, can actually, blossom into something. Gilliam, Halton, you still have guys like that there that have played and have looked, good and have flashed.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they flash. So you're definitely
like you just mentioned, Grayson Halton. He got to play a lot this year. Not, I wouldn't say a lot, but he got to play some meaningful snaps down the stretch, and he looked good at times. And the more he gets in, the more he gets acclimated to this style of defense, I think the better he's going to get, because he's got a huge ceiling for a guy like that. And that's definitely somebody to be watching, especially coming up in the bowl game. Some of these younger guys will have more of an opportunity to get some more meaningful snaps and really, start seeing what they look like going into the offseason and obviously into the spring. But yeah, there's still some guys on the roster that can definitely continue to blossom and to to make some strides for sure.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, man. It's a lot of young talent on this team. I think Grayson Halton, who was it? Grayson Halton and the other two kids who were doing their podcast. I mean, they said it there. It's like, hey man, we got some
Yeah,
dogs in this class.
Caden Helms, Nick Anderson, some of those young guys that you're going to start seeing really hopefully emerge. Javante Barnes, these guys, yeah. So
yeah.
It'll be really nice to see. And then obviously I'm really high on the 918 kids, the Robert Spears Jennings, the Gentry Williams, some of those guys that are in Tulsa's backyard. I always root for those guys. A little extra because the talent coming out of Tulsa is always something I love to see. But yeah, a lot of guys, Kip Lewis. Some of these guys, obviously, Jaron Kanak is a huge name that everybody wants to see and think he's going to get a lot of snaps coming up. Kobe McKenzie, who you didn't see a lot of this year, but has a ton of upside. And so, yeah, the future definitely, especially with this recruiting class and everything going on, builds a lot of depth and also a lot of competition at some of these spots to see who can really emerge and find a spot.
All right. So let's jump into this question right here. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Then I'm gonna put it right here on the screen. What recruit are you most excited about
from this current class?
Yeah.
Oh man. I don't know if I can name just one, but I mean we got a few that I was really, really excited about going into this one. Obviously, a huge get, like I said, with the two defensive 5-stars with Peyton Bowen and PJ Adebawore. But it really helps us a ton. And then obviously Jackson Arnold, but staying in the state, I think a guy like Jacoby Johnson and Eric McCarty, a few of those guys that are in-state talents. But I like obviously Dalen Smothers, another back that can help us out. Caleb Hicks, really like Makari Vickers, guy like that. So I mean, there's a ton of names, but obviously the obvious answer is definitely those 5-star guys. But maybe some other guys that are under the radar would be a guy like Pachotti and Dalen Smothers, like I just said. But a transfer, the guy that I think I'm most excited to see was actually a transfer in this class, a JUCO guy, Kendall Dalby, a corner. So he's probably the one that is a little under the radar, but not. And then a huge get for us was almost like a steal was Marcus Strong. So ton of talent there, and just excited for all these guys in general. But those are just a few names that really stood out to me.
I'll drop one for you. My aunt talks about this kid. He's really big on him. He thinks, hey, that kid has potential to go high rounds. So Lewis Carter.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Look, I mean, when you look at the kid, it's different because obviously I think a lot of us are really bullish on Kip Lewis and Kobe McKenzie.
Yep.
That kid is coming in here with already the size, the body, and he has the frame. So I mean, it's a lot. It's depth at that linebacker position, but you're just looking to see like, okay, who's going to step up and who's going to flash, right? Yep. I think a kid that I'm really excited about, honestly, is Kendall Dobie. I think that I watched his film. I watched some plays that he made out there on the field, and I said, man, this guy's a ball hawk, and he's a guy day one, and that's the reason why. Even with the Peyton Bowens, episode, dilemma, whatever you want to call it, Peyton, I felt like Kendall Dobie. I was like, hey, that's a guy day one that could come in and help you. The same thing that you see from C.J. Colden, or the same thing that you saw from C.J. Colden, depending on what he does. I feel like that's what Dolby's going to be able to do day one. He's going to come in and step on campus and have a decent understanding of what they're asking him to do. So it's going to be really interesting to see him out there. And, here's one thing that we forget about a lot too. Hey, you still got Cunny Walker over there. I think a lot of people kind of
I think he's a guy that's a little under the radar. And I was talking to somebody about it the other day was, Kani Walker is still a heck of a player and somebody that you could really, see emerging in that secondary and building. I mean, we're building a lot of depth in the secondary, and that's never a bad thing. But yeah, you got a big, strong, long, physical guy like Kani Walker out of Atlanta was huge. And another guy, I think, I don't know if we mentioned, but another guy I'm really excited about on the offensive side was Jaquez Petaway, kid out of Houston, burner. He's got good hands. Played in a really good system down there at Lanningham Creek High School. Ton of talent, ton of upside. He's a 4-star top 100 recruit in ESPN rankings. So certainly a guy that maybe is a little under the radar, but could really do some special things for us moving forward.
Yeah. I think for me, let's go back up to here to what Dylan Edmonds, excuse me, what he said as far as Vickers. Vickers is another kid a lot of people are really bullish on, and people think you're getting a huge steal in that kid, and that's a kid that could contribute day one too. Obviously, I know a lot of people are going to say Peyton Bowens. I'm just really excited about what we did in the secondary and then kind of down the line as well with LeBlanc. You're getting kids like that. I mean, you got names in this class, and I think that
offensive tackle Caden Green from Lee Summit, kid that's already has the physical tools, 6'5", 315, big dude that could come in really, and he's another kid that's an ESPN top 100 prospect that could really, you could see him potentially maybe starting or seeing some meaningful snaps with Bill Beadenbow, and there's some spots we need to fill on the O-line, and so that could be a guy that you could see starting or playing a lot of snaps to get in there next year.
I know. My uncle had a comp for Josiah Wagner. He said he's a more athletic Zach Sanchez.
I'll take it.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good.
That's a great compliment right there.
Yeah.
He had 8 or 9 career interceptions, maybe
key
more.
Interceptions. Put key in front of that. Yeah. I mean,
Sugar Bowl. I think about the Sugar Bowl and
a
couple of spots. Yeah. So I'm here for it.
I think one of the kids that I'm kind of excited to see how he pans out and what he does, especially in this class, is probably Caleb Hicks. Because he's kind of going under the radar. So I'm like, he really, I haven't really watched too much film on him, I'll be honest with you. But just the vibe I get from him, like going under the radar, because a lot of people are in love with Smothers and all these other kids, these high star kids. He's a high star back coming out of that Denton area as well. And the whole thing is that you're looking at him saying, kind of gives me Kennedy Brook vibes, like a kid is just going to put his nose down and just get to work day one and just work himself into the rotation somehow.
Yeah. So, he rushed for over 3,000 yards and 31 touchdowns in his high school career at Denton Ryan. If that name sounds familiar, that school, same place as Billy Bowman and all that. So the Denton area, obviously we know with Jackson Arnold and Peyton Bowen and all that, has a ton of talent. And Caleb Hicks chose OU over Alabama, TCU, and some other schools. So he's no slouch as well. I know we're high on Smothers and some of these other guys, but yeah, that's definitely a name to watch and to keep building that running back room that DeMarco Murray is doing so well. So
what kind of now let me ask you this, because and I want to say this before we get to this comment by Mike Happy. Now my aunt has been a little bit critical of gosh, you just said his name. I don't know why it's skipping my mind. Or how am I forgetting our running backs coach name?
DeMarco Murray.
Sorry. That's all right. Yeah. So anyways, my mind's a little bit scrambled today. But anyways, he's been critical of DeMarco because he's like, what 5-star running back or what running back has he brought in that you've been like, oh my God, I'm really excited about that kid?
For me, it's I think I'm excited. Obviously, Javonte Barnes is an easy name, but Gavin Sawchuk is a guy we didn't see a lot of this year that you could potentially see some in the bowl game as well, but he's got some electric speed. He's a track guy as well, but definitely him. Obviously, you could talk about Eric Gray, who was a transfer that we got in and everything like that. But, DeMarco has when he's been the full-time running backs coach here, has hit on some guys and they've been pretty productive. I know we really wanted to see what Marcus Major was about this year and everything like that. And he still may, he still may come along and everything like that. But these young guys that are coming in, we just mentioned Hicks, Smothers, you got Sawchuck, you got Barnes, and a few other guys that they could really hit. But yeah, I think he's done a heck of a job recruiting that room.
No, for sure. And I'll give him that. I think he's done a really good job, and I think he's brought in guys that not only fit our system but can get it done as well. Excited to see what Smothers and Hicks add to this running back room and get to see what the youth looks like. To be honest with you, you're hoping that Sawchuck can come in, who get a lot of reps in this game.
And he's a guy that you could look at return too. He's that kind of guy. And I thought we would see him a little bit in the return game this year, and in that too. But yeah, Marcus Major is somebody hopefully that can come along.
So he just chimed in too. He said solid backs, but not game changers. We'll see.
Hey,
here's what I'm gonna say. Marcus Majors, okay, people. I think we all like Marcus Majors, but I will say this: Marcus Majors is a name to look out for as far as any type of transfer portal. He may be one of the lone guys that could possibly go into the transfer portal. I'm just saying. I'm speculating. I don't know.
Sure,
but just with the,
it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
be like, oh man, I didn't see that one coming. You could kind of understand why he would maybe test that or explore that avenue for sure. Yeah,
look, I hope that we've heard things as far as Adrian Peterson, or he does this, he does that. Yep. It's just like he just can't stay healthy. So,
well, and then he had some off the field issues as well and stuff like that too that kind of hampered him a little bit. But you either way, you hope the best for him, and he's had to persevere through some stuff, whether it be injuries or other things. But yeah, you wish him the best, and you hope that he can still he has time to maybe emerge into the guy that we thought he would be.
No, I got you. So let's go to what Mike Happy is saying. He's saying PJ Adebawore is going to shine. Josh Bates may be a new start at center.
Yeah, Andrew Rame is still there. Some other guys that could potentially. Congel's going to be gone, so it's pretty much going to be Andrew Rame up front. But yeah, certainly you could see him in the fold as well. So yeah.
The offensive line, I'm not going to say it needs an overhaul, but we got to figure something out because our two tackles are gone.
Yep.
I think you'll be fine with Guyton at right tackle next year. I really do. Left tackle, that's going to be a key position. Obviously, right tackle is going to be really important because our quarterback is left-handed, right? But interior wise, we got to get nasty up. But the offensive line, they improved over the season. They really did. Yeah.
Yeah, well, especially in the run game, I think a lot of people don't give them enough credit for what they did. And the year that Eric Gray had was not because of just him. It was the guys up front doing their work. And so, yeah, there were some times there were some protection issues and some stuff like that. But that's usually what happens with an O-line that, is like that. And I know Bill Beatonbow sometimes gets a little flack for that, but he's still a heck of a coach. He's going to develop those guys, and I have no doubt that he'll fill those spots that are going to be voids for us here, and we'll just keep moving this thing along.
Yeah. Jimmy Satterfield says, "Will that DB from Texas?" He's talking about Reggie Pearson, y'all. Mm-hmm. Reggie Pearson Jr. He's from Texas Tech, just transferred in. He's like, will he get any shine next year? I definitely do. I think he's going to be a rotational guy. I think that
some more experienced in the secondary never hurts, especially a guy who's played in the Big 12 and understands, those, because he can come in and he understands what the offenses are doing around the league, and can jump right in, and he can hit too. He can bring the wood, as we saw, in that last game against Tech. So.
Did you see that comment by Marvin Mills? Marvin Mills was like, so he hit you, and then he put that in the highlight film, and you're over here commenting on it.
Yeah, and then we put it on the OU video that dropped was him smacking. Was it Eric Gray? I think it was, or Dylan.
No, it was Dylan. It was Dylan.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. The reason why you like that move is because it pushes a guy like Key Lawrence.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically a Key, you have all the talent in the world. You have all the talent in the world. To be honest with you, he may be your best DB in the room. Maybe I'm just saying, just the physical attributes, the intangibles that you want. Billy Bowman probably has the most upside or whatnot, just because of how
and he was hampered this year a little bit with that knee injury, but you saw his ability and what he could do. The Oklahoma State game, from coming from one side, the other hash, to the opposite side and picking the ball off. That's the kind of ability that Billy has, and hopefully you get to see that from a healthy Billy Bowman this year. But yeah, a lot of depth that could be potentially built in the secondary, and guys, you're not going to see hopefully that drop off from the ones to the twos, and you can build that solid, depth and some competition for some guys that maybe think they have, some spots sewn up too. So
no, and just pushing those guys, man, getting that competition in the room, and people know, like, hey, this is what we're doing.
Got to come to work every day.
Got to come to work every day. A guy like Davian Harmon, you're glad that you got to see a lot of him this year, but at the same time, it pushes those guys. You want to have competition in the room because it only makes you better. Iron sharpens iron, right? So the whole thing is that I definitely think that Reggie Pearson will get a shot to be on the field an awful lot. We'll see. I mean, you saw this year. You saw a lot of Bowman. Bowman was all over the field, whether he was playing like that slot corner, whether he was playing up the line like a box safety almost. I mean, he was all over the field.
Returned a few kicks and punts as well too. So, but yeah, I mean, you like what you see coming up. Certainly from the class we just signed, and some depth in that secondary. It's not going to hurt. That's for sure.
Yes, sir. Let's see. We got any good comments. Pearson and Dolby. I like that. Pearson and Dolby roaming back there. Dudes better watch out. I mean, and that's the cool thing that you had. You had the possibility of being able to run out there with that. Hell, even with a Bowens or Vickers.
Well, then you still got Robert Spears Jennings, Gentry Williams, those guys too. So,
Rowe, I'm excited to see what Rowe is gonna do.
Oh,
you got to throw in the possibility that we don't know. Both McCullough brothers may be out there on the field this year.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, it's only going to get better. And like Hank said, what did he say down there? Or Jimmy, he said that the secondary will be much improved this year. I think so. I mean, I think it can only go up from here. And like we were talking about that depth, I think it builds competition, and it makes guys not sit there and be complacent. Not that we were, but it forces your hand to say, hey, I've really got to come get it each and every day at practice.
I think the thing for me, to be honest with you, is we gotta improve our defensive line. We gotta get a pass rush.
It makes your defense so much better when you when you can rush, when you can really get pass rush with four guys, and then it opens up some other things where you can bring a free man off the edge or somebody like that, and linebackers are makes their job a lot easier when you got guys that are doing the work up front. And it with Venables and everything that they want to do schematically, it opens up so much for disguising coverages and blitzes and all kinds of different stuff.
So let me see one more name out here. Who's a name that I think a lot of people are sleeping on? I know my uncle and I, we talked about this. The other wide receiver we got, Keon Brown, out of Florida. A lot of people are big on him.
No doubt.
And some people are sleeping on him. So he could actually poke out and be one of your better receivers.
No doubt.
Who's the kid? I think we just talked about him. Was that the kid who just the wide receiver at that was going to transfer in, the Trey Harris kid? Is that the one who?
Yeah, he's Ole Miss. It literally happened like an hour ago. So it looks like he's committed to Ole Miss. So I mean, good for him. I mean, he fits that. He'll fit that offense great with Kiffin and what they're trying to do. But really, I was, in our group chat and everything like that, when he hit the portal, I was like, man, I'd really love to have that kid. So, but yeah, it looks like he's headed to Ole Miss and to Hotty Toddy. So good for him, and then wish him the best. But I want to shout out a kid for he got a preferred walk on receiver, Brandon Harper out of Noble, Oklahoma. This kid is a worker, man. This kid is going to come to work. His work ethic, everything that he's done. He had 1,700 yards receiving this year at Noble High School. The kid can play. He's going to be fun to watch and see how he progresses. Could end up like a Drake Stoops or Gavin Freeman type of guy. You can find him out there in the slot, but a good story for him. And Oklahoma is his dream school, and for him to get an opportunity to come in as a walk on and to show what he can do, huge shout out to him. So I can't wait to see what he's about.
So Derek LeBlanc will help with pressure as well. I think he's a kid. I think it just got to get in the weight room. I think getting in the weight room. Ashton Sanders is another kid as well that I think a lot of people are going to be pleasantly surprised with. Here's a question I'm going to put in the chat, and I just want to hear from everybody in the chat. This is something that I've been thinking about. Should Ethan Downs or Reggie Grimes move inside?
That's a great question.
Drew, I'll give you the floor. Go ahead.
I mean, I could see them, potentially moving inside, but if we obviously don't meet the needs of some of the guys that we're trying to go after, they could certainly. I think Ethan Downs could potentially, move inside too. But should they? I think they're better on the edge and outside personally, but can they? They could do that too. So, I think with Reggie, he's certainly long enough, but yeah, it's all going to depend on, can we really, meet some needs there in the interior and get some guys that actually are comfortable and that's their position. But I mean, they'd be willing to, I know, move inside and do whatever they can to help the D line out. But it could be a good fit. And should they? I don't think so, but can they? Yeah, absolutely.
Now here's my only thing, okay? Well, Ethan Downs, let's just focus on Ethan Downs right now, okay? Ethan Downs shows some flashes this year. He shows some good things this year. But at the same time, if you put on the tape, you'll see Ethan Downs with his arms just stretched out the entire time.
Sure.
Not shedding blocks, not doing anything.
Getting reached. Yep.
Yes. Yep. Whereas with Reggie Grimes, the problem with Reggie Grimes was that fast, quick, has the intangibles, doing everything right except for finishing. He can't get home. Yep. He's going upstream an awful lot.
Sure.
So
do they have the potential? Absolutely. They're those kind of guys, but I think they would definitely be better suited out there on the edge and and all that. But I mean, can they? I mean, absolutely.
I mean, yeah, and I think they can. And I'm not trying to just pick on the two, but I'm just saying, as far as moving inside, I think it would serve Ethan better, especially at his size and his quickness and his strength. I think that it would be better, but it's just one of those things where I think maybe I'm just nitpicking a little bit much, but at the same time, that's just kind of what
I think as much as we've watched them, I think they're definitely better fits on the outside, but could they move in and help? Sure.
I wouldn't say he's slow for that position. I think Grimes is pretty fast on the outside.
He's got a quick twitch.
Yeah, he's just swimming upstream way too much. Yeah. Let's see. And a 4-man front with 4 natural DNs. Let's see. So I really have not seen it from Ethan Downs, in my opinion. I mean,
sure. I mean, it's a different animal. Like guys are it's playing two different. Obviously, yes, it's playing two different positions, but it's in this case, you really have to play two totally different techniques when you're talking edge guys with you can swim a little bit more or rip underneath. But like I said earlier in the show, these big, shades and nose tackles really need to eat up some of those double teams and really just need to be a plug in the middle of the defense so that these linebackers and edge guys can go run free and make plays. So you really need a guy that's, a 300-pound plus guy like a Neville Gallimore or some of these maybe maybe we get Ford, some of those guys, but you really need a big nasty plug guy in the middle there that's just going to go in there and eat up some double teams and really just wreak havoc there in the middle.
Yeah. Let's see. Jonah looked good when he was lined up inside.
At times he did, yeah.
No, look. Here's the thing about Jonah is that you're going to get consistent effort out of him. That's one thing I can say about that kid. You're going to get consistent effort. Then we got Connor comes back on here. He says, "Kind of hope R. Mason takes a step and takes one of their spots." It's all about the weight room. To be honest with you,
R. Mason just got to put on a little more weight. He's like 225, 230 right now. If you want to, like I just said, eat up some blocks there in the middle, you're really gonna have to pack it on. Yeah, obviously David Stone would be a good fit in there, but he's not till next year. So
yeah.
But yeah, immediate help, like I said, would be a big nasty in there in the middle. So yeah, hopefully we pick up some D tackles there in the portal. I think that's the idea, and that's what I think we're trying to go after here in the next few weeks, especially after the bowl game. You'll really start seeing some more heat on the transfer portal front.
And I think that's what BV is wanting. I mean, you see, like it's hard to watch a Clemson game because you're like, okay, so this is what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
This is how we're supposed to move within this defense. These are the ebbs and flows of this defense. But you're excited about the prospects though. And I feel like we do have the guys on campus, and especially, after this, I wouldn't say mass exodus, but I will say this little small mini exodus of guys. I think now you're starting to see, okay, this is what BV feels will have that look and have that feel of a real true OU team, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's just a thought people out. I just wanted to say, and I'll put it back up here on the screen one more time. Should Ethan Downs or Reggie Grimes move inside? Yeah. Hey, it's just a thought. If if you're thinking like me, hey, if you're thinking like Drew, then hey, so be it. I think that these guys,
nothing is out of question right now. You can ask, that's a valid question for sure.
At the end of the day, we're a 6-6 team. I still am extremely confident in what BV and everybody else is selling and talking about. There's just certain things that you're like, hey, we need to fix this and we need to fix it quick. We want it fixed now.
Yeah. So, and I think that's one of our immediate needs is interior defensive tackle. Yep.
Gotta get a consistent pass rush. That's pretty much that's probably the biggest thing. So let me ask you this question. How about this right here? Let me flip this question for you for this recruiting class. Are there still any position of needs that as far as his team, do we have any position of needs still?
I wouldn't say like of need, like I would say more like a want. I think we want a couple more maybe receivers, maybe another portal guy. Obviously it looks like we lost out on Trey Harris. But you'd like to get another receiver. Obviously, having Stogg come back at tight end is huge for us. So that's going to be kind of a position room to watch as well. To see some of these young guys like Jason Llewellyn and Caden Helms and some of these guys there. But if you had to ask me the two positions of need, I think you need another receiver. And then obviously we just talked about it, interior defensive line. So I think you got some good depth everywhere else. And those are two I would go take a look at as some more depth there. for both of those positions. So wide receiver and obviously D tackle, nose guard.
So I would say, wide receiver, definitely that'd probably be like one, 2 or 3 on my list. Obviously, we gotta get some big not hog mollies, but we gotta get some big guys in that middle. We gotta get more depth on there. I feel like as far as D tackles.
Oh, and maybe O line.
Yeah, maybe O line.
Yeah.
What I would say though, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I know that we got our guy, and you know who I'm talking about. But when I say this, we may need to go to the portal and get another quarterback.
Yes, I mean certainly if you're talking about because last year was, I mean, obviously we saw what happened with when Dylan Gabriel went down against TCU and the drop off you had there for whatever reason it was. I have my own thoughts, but I won't share those too publicly. But yeah, I mean it certainly wouldn't hurt, but at the same time, if you're going to have a third string quarterback, and I think both of these guys are probably going to stay unless they feel like they got another opportunity somewhere else. But General Booty, we didn't really get to see a whole lot of him on the field. And I know there was some question marks. Hey, was he? I mean, I love Davis Bevel, but that's a really reason he was a third string quarterback at Pitt. I mean, yeah. But you'd like to see what General has, and yeah, he's got a catchy name, obviously, but you want to see him produce on the field. So yeah, I mean it wouldn't hurt to bring another guy, like you said, iron sharpens iron, and obviously you've got Dylan Gabriel coming back. You would, by all indications, unless something crazy and unforeseen happens, and then obviously your guy Jackson Arnold coming in there, probably by all accounts going to be the number 2 guy, and then yeah, who's going to solidify that third spot between Bevel, Booty, and maybe a transfer guy. So man, yeah, it's a valid question though, for sure though. I see where you're going. So it's not crazy to think though.
I have concerns with Bevel, obviously.
Oh yeah.
General Booty, I think after that Texas game, and I think we've all heard kind of the whole story or variations of the same story as far as what went down with General Booty, as far as the Texas game is concerned.
Yeah.
Man, some mild concerns, not anything that's super crazy, but just some mild concerns there about
well, you didn't really get to see what he was about. I mean, you heard things about practice and whatnot, and then some other stuff like you said, but yeah, it makes you wonder a little bit for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. John has a good, I mean, I'm not hating on the point that you're making.
I'm not either.
I'm not hating on it because look,
I'm not gonna straight just throw him under the bus, but at the same time, I mean, you could argue that for sure.
It's one of those things where I know what we look like with DG, whether he's having an off day or he's having a good day. I've seen both.
Yeah.
But I know what we look without DG as well. And so we're having to live that every single day because Texas fans are saying 49-0 and every damn thing. No matter what you tell them about their coach going 13-11 in 2 seasons. But we see the improvement. But that's my
what have you done for me lately? Yeah. No. And you can definitely ask the question, can you foresee Dylan Gabriel getting better? I mean, Mr. John, it's
the
not
only way Gabriel can get better, in my opinion, is if you surround him with elite talent. And that goes to the offensive line, a durable running back, no matter who it is, whether it's Bourne, Sawchuk, Smothers, or Caleb Hicks, Marcus Majors, no matter who it is. And he has to have, and here's the thing with the offense, we got to see more than 3 wide receivers this year.
Yep.
Just can't
and it opens up so much when you can throw the ball out there and boom, bam, bam. It puts so much pressure on the defense when you can dink and dunk it to 5 or 6 different receivers down the field because you're like, well, holy cow, who are they going to throw the ball to next? Hank, unfortunately, it looks like Spencer Sanders is on his way to Oregon State. So,
whoa! I thought that was DJ.
Oh, that was DJ. My bad. Yeah, they both.
He's going to Auburn, right?
It looks? I mean, I don't know. It looks like it. Yeah, DJ. Sorry, DJU. Which is kind of weird, but quarterback is needed.
Huh. I get it. That's all I'm gonna say about that one. I get it.
I can't hate on it.
I get it. But no, we're not taking Spencer.
No, our boy Ty Hayes over there around the table, he'd gladly take him in Alabama. So
for sure.
Yeah. I know he'd be jumping up and down if he committed.
If Spencer Sanders stepped foot into an OU locker room, I think they would probably beat his ass. And then they would be like,
for the stuff he said, I mean, that'd be interesting.
Like, that would be interesting, yeah.
Everybody would be like,
who would he talk to? He would have to room with Trace Ford of all people.
He might have to room with Levy.
That is true.
Or one of the GAs. Witness protection.
Man. Let's see. DG was completely different before the concussion.
You mean in a good way or a bad way?
That's the question.
Yeah.
It's tall.
Yeah. Can't hate on that one either. Mystery Man's, you got some good points. Can't hate on that one either.
Here's another question for the chat. All right. I'm putting these surprise questions in here.
Throwing some zingers in there tonight. I like it. Good way, Hank said. For DJ. Or for DJ. He said the concussion turned him different in a good way. Oh. Can we win a national championship next year? Softball? Absolutely, man. Let's go. Let's go. Baseball? Yes. Come on, Drew. Go.
Come on, Drew. Can we win a national championship next year?
I just said, yeah.
Presently built.
Are you talking about football?
I'm talking about football.
I mean, it's possible. Absolutely. I mean, nothing's out of the realm of possibilities. We got Cam Newton walking through that door.
Let's be realistic. What is
you got Cam Newton walking through that door?
You said what?
You got Cam Newton walking through that door?
What, at Auburn Cam Newton? If
Auburn Cam Newton, not weird hats, press conference Cam Newton.
Let's see.
I mean, yeah, you got a chance. Nobody thought TCU was going to go undefeated and make the bowl game or make the playoffs. It's not out of question, but would I go out and throw some money on it? Probably not. But nothing's impossible.
How far away are we, Drew? Give us the real.
I'm not going to do the Muleshoe answer of we're really close, because I'm not going to say that one, but I mean, the way we're building these last two classes, top 10 classes here, 22 and 23. Yeah, I mean, we're climbing the ladder. How high are we up on that ladder yet? I don't know. If we go in next year and really come out 9, 10 wins, obviously it'll tell us, we're getting a lot closer, but at the same time, minimum 2, probably 3 years, I would have to guess, if we really got everything on track and the guys that we want, that we are really high on, that we have either signed or are going to sign in the next couple classes, certainly, 2-3 years, that would mean the first year in the SEC or something like that. So, I mean, we'll see. I'm a year by year guy. So, if we go out and win 9-10 games and we really start seeing us climb, yeah, I mean, I'll feel really good. Let's just go out and win one more Big 12 championship and then chunk up the deuces at the Big 12 conference.
Oh yeah, I want to piss the Big 12 conference off so much.
That's my goal.
it's been a few games where I'm like, look, I
Yeah.
know these other games we got our ass kicked, but that one right
Yeah.
there,
We
I
can
was
go
like,
in and win the
hey,
Big 12 next year and chunk up the deuces, give them the old Richard Nixon. Hey, let's
I want to
go.
get, I just want to win another Big 12 championship. Look at Texas and say,
Yeah.
oh my God, this feels so good. When's the last time y'all won one? And
Yeah.
then go ahead, maybe make a playoff or something or whatnot, and we go
Yeah.
from there.
Go
But
win a playoff game. That'd be great.
exactly.
So
But with that being said, we're already at 50 minutes. Let's go into our little sneak peek preview and end this thing, okay? FSU. All right. So here's my spiel about FSU. I've watched them quite a bunch this year. I think we all watched the game of the century, right? LSU versus FSU this
oh
early
man.
in the season. That
I
game was
forgot about that.
abysmal.
It's been so long ago. Yeah.
Watching this team right here, they're a vertical team. They want to get down the field.
Yeah.
Inside run, outside run. They like to mix it up, but they want to get vertical. They want to get it to their receivers. Their receivers are pretty fast. Their receivers are pretty tall as well. They're pretty lengthy, and they make some big plays. They got that 167 wide receiver that came from I think
Jeez.
Arizona State or
Yeah.
so. That kid is a monster.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see as far as like our slot back or what we do in that 3-3-5, how we try to contain that guy because he can play outside, play inside as well, and he can make some things happen. The biggest thing to know is if you haven't paid attention to FSU, I will say this right here: they are a poor man's version of TCU.
Yep.
My honest opinion, that's how I see them. And the reason why I say that is because Jordan Travis is I'm going to say this, Jordan Travis is an above average quarterback. He's a pretty good quarterback. Now I wouldn't say tier 1. I would say probably maybe middle of tier 2, tier 3, pretty much. But I think he's a good quarterback and can get the job done, and he can definitely put up some points too. But the thing about it is that he's just like Max Duggan, can hurt you with his arm if he makes the right play.
Yeah.
But he also can hurt you with his legs as well.
Yeah,
so,
really athletic. Yep.
Yeah, athletic guy, not a fast guy, but an athletic guy.
He can make some plays. He's almost like a Baker Mayfield type of guy where you do have to worry about his run threat, and then obviously his ability to stretch it and throw it around the field. It's going to be interesting and a good task for us because you're going to start seeing some of these young guys being able to get an opportunity to play in this bowl game. And that's, I think, the most I'm looking forward to is seeing some of this young talent, some of these young freshmen getting opportunities to play and really see what they can do.
I think for me, I really think that this game is all about the mental for our defense, to be honest with you. Have you corrected the problems that you had all season long? For a good portion of the season. This is not a team that's going to come out there and just try to telegraph things like a West Virginia or a Texas Tech and try to play concise and precise as far as what they're trying to do with quarterback leads and the running back, the RB blast in the same freaking place. I'm not even going to get started on that.
Yeah.
But what I will say is this right here. This is a game kind of like, for example, one play that really kind of summarizes it all. It's a Danny Stutzman against Hunter Decker in that mind game. Okay, yeah. You fool me once, you fool me twice, third time, I pick that off and I take it to the 1 yard line for us to go ahead and get go up by another touchdown. Right. Yep. So it's that type of game right there. Have you fixed the mental mistakes that you were making all during this season that cost you maybe 2 or 3 games that you probably should have won? So I think that if you see them come out there and they're not missing assignments, we have gap integrity. I know I've been saying that an awful lot, but if we have gap integrity against this team, if we're not in the wrong place, and then here goes Jordan Travis running down the sideline for 40, 50 yards, are we still doing those things where we have those mental mistakes and we're missing assignments and we're not running through the right gap? Are we taking poor angles and pursuit tackles away, boo, right? It's a game where your linebackers are going to have to really, really be big because that's what they're going to try to do is exploit that middle of the defense, which is what our weak
Well,
link.
and that's their game plan going to come in. They've seen our weaknesses on defense this year, and they're going to try to attack that. And like you said, do we have the ability to make the adjustments, or is it going to be the same old defense this year? And at times it was really good. Don't get me wrong, but there's some times where there was some glaring concerns. Setting the edge. I think me and you have talked about that for till we're blue in the face. Can we set the edge? Can we really have those linebackers coming downhill, fitting the gaps, and making some tackles for loss, and finishing in one-on-one opportunities in space, and then offensively, can we stretch the field? Can Javonte Barnes? Some of these guys, you're going to see some new running backs get an opportunity to carry the rock with Eric Gray not being in the game, and then obviously, who's gonna emerge and play some meaningful snaps up front on the offensive line too, because you got Wanye and a couple other guys not playing in the game up front, and so yeah, that'll be interesting to see as well. And can we end the season on a high note and go out and beat a pretty good Florida State team? Would be huge, and it would give us some momentum going into the offseason for sure. So I'm excited about it. Another opportunity to get better, and another opportunity to go play against a pretty good opponent.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree with everything that you said. It's going to be a good game, and it's going to be a great way to end the season with a win. Hopefully, that's what you're hopeful for. One thing I'll leave you with here is that Baylor fans, I'm looking directly at you. Y'all were talking a lot of noise saying that y'all should have been in this game.
You got to beat Air Force first.
Got to beat Air Force first before you can talk again. Oh, that surprised me. I had Baylor winning by 20. I felt like, okay, they'll just spread them out, and then Air Force running the triple option or whatever version of the option they want to run.
They were eating up front.
And you thought that would play right into a Baylor team's hands,
stopping the run.
Yeah, as far as just, all it was just this gap, that gap, got to be A and B gaps, right? You gotta go through those. But and you thought that their athletes would be better than, but their lead Air Force.
When you play against a service academy team, you're going to get disciplined. You're going to get those guys. All they do is work as a team 24/7.
Yeah.
Whether it's on and off the field, that's what their job is, and they're going to like a couple years ago when we had to play Army.
Yeah.
You're not going to see them make mistakes. You're not going to see them, penalize themselves. They're an ultimate, team right there because they do it all the time.
Well, I was going to say my MVP of that game last night is the lead back. Yeah. I'm just going to say, the lead back, that lead backer, and it was multiple people, but the lead backers were clearing people. They were clearing people. You're looking at the play, and the running back is, I'm not going to say he's jogging. He's going to kind of like a fast jog almost, kind of like a little fast walk. And then all of a sudden, here he goes exploding for, 10, 12, 15 yards down the field. And you're like, my goodness, it took a minute for that hole to develop. But when he saw it, he took off, So it was definitely interesting to see how that game shaped out. But, guys, we've answered a lot of questions. We talked about the recruiting class. Right now, there's not too many names floating around as far as what's still out there that we're looking at, but they're soon to drop. So definitely like, follow, subscribe my channel, subscribe and follow Drew's channel as well. And with that, that's a great segue. Drew, tell everybody where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, we are the Under Official Review podcast. We talk all things college football, all across the board, anything and everything. You can find us on our YouTube channel at the Under Official Review podcast. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and then our audio content is on Apple and Spotify. Go subscribe to our channel, drop us some comments, hit the like button. We need to start gaining some traction. We're a new channel, so all the support would help. And then obviously right now, if you're in this live, go down and hit that like button and get these algorithms up for the Horns Down podcast as well, and drop some comments and everything like that, and help our man Kchris out.
Man, for sure. Hey, look, guys, always Horns Down every day. Texas sucks. We out.